Happy Friday, my lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. But more importantly, happy St. Patrick's Day. So I actually have a family who live in Ireland, so I wanted to do a design especially for them today. So if you'd like to see how I've created this St. Paddy's Day set, please keep watching. So I am working on Miss Liza today for this design. I have applied my base nails and some tips. I will be using, you guessed it, Gems Nail Systems crystal clear acrylic. I'm also going to be using a little touch of Peachy Peach, one of the core cover powders. Then for a little bit of colour, I have got Jenny, this beautiful green, and to go with her I've got Taylor. This is a lovely gold, and I thought the green and the gold for St. Patrick's Day, perfect. I'm using one of this week's glitters of the week. This is Miss Lily. I saved her for this design so she wasn't in the previous video. And then I have got these fabulous St. Patrick's Day gonk decals from the Decal Queen to use. So I've cut out the decals I'm going to use in this design, popped them on a wet sponge, and I'm going to leave them to one side so they can soak through and be ready to use when I'm ready to apply them. So I am starting off, as always, doing my thin clear base. So I went with a slightly longer sort of almond shape nail for this design, mainly because I wanted them to be long enough to fit one of the decals. They do come in a slightly smaller size as well. I just thought I'd go with the large. So I'm just finishing off my thin clear base, and then we can get started with the design. I forgot to show at the beginning, I picked out some foil to use in this design. This is a gold foil, but it's got like that oxidized look to it in green, so I thought perfect golden green, St. Patrick's Day. It was meant to be. So I'm just applying little bits of this around the cuticle, on the ring finger and the middle finger. So I've pulled it out of the tub and I've just ripped it up a little bit, and now I am just sticking it in to sort of some tacky acrylic. This sits very, very flat on the nail. I'm really patting it down, and if you just move it around a bit with your brush, you can tear it. So if you want slightly smaller pieces, you can do that. I'm not worrying if it tears and there are any gaps, because that just adds to the look of it, but I just want a little bit around the cuticle, which is why I tore it into smaller pieces instead of just ripping it in half and going in with that. Once I was happy on one finger, I'm going to do exactly the same on the other one. Now, I'm going to be honest, you didn't see a lot of this in the finished design because I added the decal and I also added some crystals, but you saw enough that it was a step that I was really pleased I did, but it's a step you could leave out very easily. So I'm just doing the middle nail, same thing. I've just been tearing off bits and just adding them on. I don't want to come too far down the nail because it is going to be sort of partly covered with my cover acrylic, but just enough. Now I am going in with Peachy Peach, and I'm just applying this so it's slightly overlapping that foil, and then I've just feathered it back. You see me do this with glitters, I thought I'd do it with the foil for a change. And then I'm just painting the excuse me, the rest of the product down the nail, not worrying if it doesn't go right to the tip because I'm going to be adding some glitter, and I am literally painting this on because it does all need to be encapsulated because of the foil and the glitter. Peachy Peach is a strength powder, but I'm effectively using it as a design powder in this video, and I'm going to do exactly the same on the middle finger. So starting just short of that foil and just flipping my brush to blend it back ever so slightly, and then working the rest of the bead down the nail. Once I was happy with that blend over the foil, I can start adding some more, and if I wasn't fully happy, I can just go in with teeny tiny little wet beads and feather it back slightly until I was happy. I didn't come all the way down the nail, or so far down the nail on this one. I'm doing it exactly the same on both of these nails. I just thought, why have I covered right to the tip on that first nail? Because I'm going in with glitter. So I've picked up a little bead of the Lily Elite glitter using clear acrylic, and I'm just applying that at the very tip, and then I'm just feathering it back, so I've got a bit of an ombre going on, just a little bit more where I felt it was a bit patchy, and then I'm almost using the very tip of my brush just to feather it back. Feather it. There's too many itits there. Feather it back so it's not a straight line, it blends out. You know the drill. I felt I went too far, so I'm just pushing it back down the nail, and then I'll go back and feather it again. I was happy with that, so I stopped, because otherwise there was danger of me going too far. And now I'm going to do exactly the same thing on thing. Helen, what kind of English is that? Thing? I'm going to do exactly the same thing on the middle nail. So just applying a little bit more at the tip where I felt it was a bit patchy, and then I'm just feathering it back. You will notice, in fact you've probably noticed all week if you've watched my videos, I'm wearing gloves. That is because my nails were looking shocking, so gloves it was. I don't really like working in gloves, but sometimes needs must. Anyway, while that glitter sets in place, I'm going onto the pinky and also the index finger, and I'm going to marble between Jenny and Taylor. This beautiful green and gold go perfectly together in my opinion. They would be really nice Christmas colours. You have to whisper that at this time of year. But I thought for St. Patrick's Day they were really pretty. So I'm just going in with little beads of the two little wetter beads. You want to work a bit wetter when marbling, and then just taking the very tip of my brush and pulling that through so I can marble the two colours together. And then exactly the same on the index. So I've gone in with a bead at the cuticle first, so that's nice and neat. And I don't have to worry about marbling right up to it. And then just doing the same thing, couple of beads, and then pulling the brush through. I had a little gap there, so I went in with a teeny tiny amount of Jenny, and because it was still wet, I was just able to drag that through to continue the marble. So I'm just going to finish covering that nail, fill in any little gaps, tidy it up, and then I'm just going to go in with a little touch of the glitter. I apologise, I've got a hair in my mouth and I'm desperately trying to get rid of it and talk at the same time. So I'm just doing a little swoosh of the glitter. I'm following sort of the lines of the marble. I don't want loads, I don't want to cover up the marble, I just want a little touch of that glitter. So I picked an area on the nail where I had quite a big strip of one of the colours. And popped the glitter there, and then I'm doing exactly the same on the index finger, just a little touch of the glitter just so it ties all the nails together. Excuse me. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of the foil as well, just a little pop either side of the glitter. I didn't want to cover again too much of the marble, I didn't want to cover all of the glitter, I just wanted a little bit because it tied all the nails together. I did go back and add a touch more glitter because I felt I put a bit too much of the foil and covered too much of the glitter. Now I'm going to start adding my decals. So I've washed on some clear acrylic and I'm just letting that go slightly tacky. I find there's less chance of me ripping the decals if it's more tacky. Pick them up off the wet sponge. If they're a bit wet, I just blot them on the back of my hand and then slide them off the backing paper and place them on the nail where I want them. So I popped these in slightly different places on each of those nails because I didn't want to cover everything. I just wanted to have them on there, just, you know, just to tie in with my little gonky decal. On that full nail, I've done a full wash of clear acrylic, left it for a moment so it starts to go tacky, and then I'm just lightly patting my little gonk decal down so it sticks in place, not worrying if there's any overhang because I can file that away. And now this is the design done. I'm loving these. So I now need to encapsulate these in clear acrylic. Going to make sure we've got the apex. We're going to make sure everything is fully covered in clear acrylic so I don't file it away. And here they are, all freshly filed, and these are ready to be finished off. Now you will notice in this video I have had that pink matte background the entire time. I'm still on the fence as to whether I'm going to stick with the pink or just use white in my videos, so I would love to know your opinions. Gonna add some crystals to this design. So first up I've got the Belle Preciosa mix from Gems, and to pair with it I'm going to use the Olivia mix. This is a goldy mix and a greeny mix. So perfect to go with my St. Patrick's Day design. And I have also got some little shamrock charms which I got from Shein. In one of my recent deliveries, I purposefully got them so I could do a St. Patrick's Day design. I have given these all a really good wipe over, and now I'm using a little touch of Felicity Flex to stick that charm down. I was going to do it with glue, but it wasn't working. So just a little touch of Felicity Flex, popped the charm where I wanted it, and now I am just flash curing it with my little torch. I will fully cure once I've applied all the crystals. I'm going to stick those on with the glue. So little dobs of the glue, and then I'm just using my crystal pickup tool just to do a little bit of a swoosh coming down from that shamrock stalk, and just alternating with the gold and the green crystals. So yeah, there's not much to talk about with this. I'm just applying them on just down the nail. So back to what I was saying. Yeah, please let me know what you prefer, the pink or the white. I'm leaning towards the white, but I will definitely use the pink to work on, maybe at my bed table. But let me know, what do you think? I'm just finishing off adding these crystals, and once they are all stuck down, I just pulled this nail out. Obviously don't do that if you're working on an actual person, because you'll probably get sued and it'd be painful and bloody. But I just pulled it out to fully cure Felicity Flex where I put that shamrock on, and I did add a couple of gold crystals in the middle of my two little shamrock decals, and now it's time to top coat these nails. Felicity is all fully cured now, so I am going to fully top coat all around the crystals. I don't want to cover them with the top coat, but those one in the middle of the nail, sometimes you might just overlap them slightly. Getting my little detail brush so I can get right around the crystals on this nail and my little shamrock. I want to make sure I cover any of the Felicity that is still visible and not covered by the charm, because it's got a tacky finish, so we will need Tina Top on top of that to get rid of the tackiness. So I'm just getting right in and around any little nooks and crannies, and I'm going to finish top coating all of these nails, pop in the lamp to cure for 60 seconds, and that is my St. Patrick's Day design done. So these are now all fully cured and this design is finished. I absolutely love this little gunk decal from the Decal Queen. I know I want to focus a bit more on hand painting, and I did do a Valentine's hand painted gonk, but I don't think there is anything wrong with using decals in some designs. They save a lot of time, especially if you are working in a busy salon environment and you just don't have time to do hand painting for every single client. And there are so many designs that there is always something to use. I really hope you guys love this St. Patrick's Day design as much as I enjoyed creating it. And happy St. Patrick's Day to my wonderful cousin Sarah, her husband Niall, and of course to Harry and Tom, my Irish family. I hope you all have a fabulous day. We have come to the end of this video, and we are nearly at the end of this week for Nailting Glitter and Colour of the Week. There is one more video to come on Sunday, so please check that out. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Leave me any comments down below and check out the description box for all the product details. I'll see you in another video on Sunday. Bye! Mwah.